A little bit. Maybe I should have gone to Africa.
Now, talking about you learning the guitar, in fact, you learned how to play the guitar and sing on the boat coming to Taiwan. And that turned out to be very, very useful. And now, there was one time when one of the TV stations asked you, or was it a restaurant, that asked you to perform, and you really struggled thinking that was the right thing to do. And then you realized that there was somebody kind of hidden in the corner, and you assumed it was somebody from the Jesuit, how should I put it?
I was afraid it was another priest from
from
our provincial's residence. Yeah, it was.
And so you decided to sing something more gospel kind of songs for a change.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yeah, right.
So then you got an approval to continue to go to that restaurant and keep singing, and that's how it became popular. Then all these people started asking you to come and sing it for them, or on their TV shows and everything. And that's where you sang 手把掌, which is obviously most approved and loved by all the Chinese people. Obviously, because of that, people started falling in love with you because you're singing one of the classics, right? Well, so this is amazing. I mean, yeah.
Well, I'm really not a very good singer, and I'm not a very good guitar player, and I'm not being humble. Other people will tell you that if they're honest. But at that time, of course, the level was different from what it is today. Now people, they go to karaoke, and everybody knows how to sing. But in those days, and then, of course, being here, every day I had contact with actors and performers, so that also helped me. I learned a lot from that. And I think maybe one of the things that helped the most was because I knew that my singing and my guitar playing was not really tops. I played the guitar because it kind of covered up my voice. And then to distract people from my guitar playing, I went down to the downstairs. There was a costume room. And at that time, we had a lot of Taiwanese drama serials. And so I borrowed a doli, one of these straw hats, that the farmers wear in the rice fields, and a traditional gray, kind of baggy Taiwanese outfit, country outfit. And when I was asked to sing 手把掌, I put those on. And that worked real well.
That thought it was perfect.
I thought that was pretty good. That was a stroke of genius. Maybe my singing wasn't good, but I learned to perform from the people that were acting here at Guangxi.
So you still have photos from that? Hope you left
that
as a memoir.
I do have some.
I better have a copy.
Okay.
So how did you get into Guangxi? Obviously, it was then when you started getting popular as a kind of one of the rare foreigners in Taiwan and playing the guitar and singing that they thought you'd be perfect for Guangxi, this program service which has such a long history. It's amazing how it's continued to this day, and we're right here in
the original studio. The original studio, one of the first in Taiwan.
Yeah. How did you even? Obviously, it was a stroke of we say luck, but that was God's plan.
I think so, yeah. I'm sure it was. And I really am grateful to my superior at that time, Father Bernard Ju. He was a very wise Chinese Jesuit priest. And of course, he also needed somebody to come here because we had this big studio and it was making programs that were seen all over the island because there were only 1 or 2 television stations at that time. He needed someone to come, and he looked around, and he saw me with my guitar, and it looked like his best bet. But he let me make my own decision. He told me to think about it and see if I really felt it was God's will for me. And in the beginning, I didn't. I was very happy teaching at Furen University.
Right.
And
that's your other hat that you wear. It's teaching English.
Right. Well, I was teaching a very simple philosophy course and a little psychology course. Yeah, but very simple, very practical. And I was using my guitar and my songs to illustrate, because again, I was worried that my Mandarin wasn't good enough, and I needed something else to, get the attention of the students and make an impression on them.
You were teaching in English?
No, I taught in Chinese.
In Chinese?
Yeah,
wow, that's amazing. but then you kind of use songs and, I don't know, pictures and slides maybe?
Well, I use songs and little dramas. I had the students perform little skits, you know, or any...
Philosophy, we're talking about philosophy and psychology classes.
Yeah, well, I always felt that my own personal belief is philosophy's not just a theory, but it should be something that helps you in life. It should teach you, and it has taught me how to make decisions, how to analyze situations, how to look at the world, you know, and make sense of it. And so that's what I tried to bring to the students. And,
I wish I had been in your class, because when I tried taking philosophy, and I thought, well, why not? You know, I only took for 2 weeks and I gave up. Right before they asked me for a paper report. And I said, I could never write a report. I should have been in your class. It would have been more fun.
You would have liked it.
I would have liked it. I probably would have understood better than just looking at, I don't know, the teacher talking.
I really still have some experiences from those days, you know, that lasted until now. One day I was walking down the street in Taipei, and this lady, middle-aged lady, came walking up, and she says, "Oh, Father Ding, Father Jerry, everything is beautiful in its own way." She started to sing that song and dance down the sidewalk. And I said, you were in my philosophy class at Furen.
Really?
And now she's the Xiaozhang. She's the director of a school here in Taipei. But she remembered that song 40 years ago. And
you wrote those songs?
Sorry?
You wrote those songs?
No. I maybe composed one or two of them, or translated one or two of them, but most of them were popular songs at that time, either in English or Chinese or whatever fit the topic that I was going to teach that day in class.
Amazing. How many songs do you think you know from heart?
Well, I've forgotten them all now, Shirley. That's a kind of a pity, you know. My guitar doesn't recognize me anymore. It's sitting in my room with a lot of dust, you know. And
you're too busy.
And the chords don't come out properly. My fingers don't work like they used to. And,
I know.
And really the song words, sometimes I look at my songbook and I said, did I know all those songs? I didn't memorize them all, but I could get through them. But
at least you remember the first 2 or 3 phrases of each song, and that's good enough. Better than me.
Yeah, a few songs anyway.
Yeah, a lot better than me. Now, there was a time when you went on a volunteer work trip, maybe, to the Thai and Cambodia border.
Yes,
Actually, you were there for a conference of some sort.
I was in Thailand for a communications conference, and that was in 1979. And just at the moment, in September of that year, just that moment, the United Nations and the Red Cross came to Thailand to help deal with the refugees that were building up on the Thai-Cambodian border, the Cambodian refugees, because Vietnam was attacking the Pol Pot regime. And everyone took that opportunity to try to escape from the country because it was horrible under the Pol Pot, those 4 years of this very extreme communist Pol Pot dictatorship. And so they were building up along the border for months before they were allowed to come over. And when they were finally allowed to